is it that the media has been so quiet about the meeting between Putin and Xi Jinping? Not only has the media been quiet about that, but how is it that the media has also been quiet about the fact that Xi Jinping has a meeting with Putin, and in the midst of all of that, China acts as a facilitator for a peace treaty between Iran and Saudi Arabia. And when we talk about a peace treaty, I don't know if it's a peace treaty, but it's some kind of a hold it at bay agreement that exists between the two nations. Undoubtedly, mark my words, at the hand of one Vladimir Putin. If you think for a second that the Chinese decided to have some kind of a summit with Iran and with Saudi Arabia, you've got something else coming. There is no way that those players would be brought into the fold, especially within the context of operations in China's diplomacy, unless this was something that was orchestrated by a bigger cause, and that cause would be the cause of Russia. In case people have not noticed, Russia is now the big player in the Middle East. Let's not lose sight of that. Russia is the big boy in the Middle East. The United States of America, as significant as it still is in the Middle East, is not the major superpower who's the player in the Middle East. United States of America is dying as a superpower. Its influence in the Middle East is undoubtedly dying. We know that because we've seen what's happened recently. We watched Saudi Arabia pretty much flip off the United States of America by basically going to Russia and saying, we are going to take 25% of the business we've been given to the United States of America, and we're going to give it to you so that you can facilitate us with all of the things that we need to be able to provide a safe and reliable defense for our country. Russia, of course, very happy about that. Russia looks at that and says, that's a great opportunity. We're going to jump on it, develops a very close relationship with Saudi Arabia. By the way, should not be a coincidence to us, should not be anything that surprises us, because we know that when Gog, which is the title of a person, presumably the leader of Russia, attacks Israel with a conglomerate of nations, that there will be some nations that will object to that attack. Perhaps the most vocal of those nations, even though they will not respond militaristically speaking, they will simply be vocal. The most vocal of those nations is going to be none other than Saudi Arabia. So it would make sense that Saudi Arabia become close to Russia, become close to Iran, develop these types of relationships, because one of the things that we recognize with a simple reading of Ezekiel 38 is when Saudi Arabia speaks against what they are doing, they're not speaking against what they're doing as some kind of a formal, I have to just say this right now, and even though I don't really know you, I'm going to still give you some advice. No. It is very obvious that there is a close relationship between all of these nations. Yes, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Russia, eventually Turkey, Libya, all of these countries are all going to be closely tied together to the point where Saudi Arabia will be familiar enough with these attackers to say, what the heck are you thinking? I don't want us to lose sight of the picture that's being drawn.